Hey VC, how's it going? It's New Year's Eve. Hope everyone has a good time. Stay safe out there. Be responsible. I sure will. It's gonna be a mild year. I'm gonna go see a movie probably. Anyway, this is a contest entry for Brad H2Vinyl's label game contest, which, by the way, I think is one of the more creative contest ideas I've seen in a little while. Um, there's, it's real simple. Let me adjust this camera a little bit. Sorry, that's a little better. Um, Basically, you just show five labels and talk about what it reminds you of, a song, an artist, um, anything. It's just real straightforward. And I think labels are kind of among with liner notes, one of the more underrepresented aspects of the format, because you don't really get this kind of thing on MP3s. Obviously, the label doesn't really matter so much anymore. So anyway, I'll go ahead and start with this classic Parrot label. You can see there, it's them, Gloria. Great song, great garagey track, and the label is interesting. But whenever I see that little guy, I'm just reminded of Tom Jones, the song "What's New Pussycat," particularly. Any Tom Jones in general. I think I've probably seen Tom Jones 45s on that label hundreds of times in the discount bins, or the 45 bins in general, which are often so unorganized. And yeah, I wish I could say I think of something cooler, but it's always just Tom Jones. And I should post a link in the description for a John Mulaney stand-up bit where he talks about that song. I won't spoil it, but it's really hilarious. All right, so there's the RSO label. I think I'm not positive. I should have done some research. Clapton was involved with it. I'm pretty sure, at least, because all of his solo stuff and the Cream stuff got reissued on it in the 70s and 80s, and pretty much all of his projects that he was involved with are on there. And for the longest time, I thought it was like a rhino or something for some reason. It's very clearly just a cow. But every time I see it, I think of the first record I ever saw on that label, and it's this interesting Star Wars record. It's The Empire Strikes Back, but it's called like The Adventures of Luke Skywalker, and it's basically just like a adaptation of the movie, kind of condensed into an LP length, featuring all the voice actors. But it's on this RSO label. You can see the cow I was talking about. I don't know why I thought that was like a rhino or something. And it very clearly has a cowbell on it. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, this is my dad's copy. He had a lot of the Star Wars stuff, particularly the three original soundtracks, storybook type thing, and I think one for the original movie as well. But this is the only one on the RSO label. The rest are on the 20th Century Fox records, I believe. Alright, so this record here, this is my original of Marquee Moon by Television. You all know this one, I'm pretty sure by now. I've talked about it a lot. It's on the Electra label, and because of the period it came out in, I want to say 76, 77? Yeah, 77. That later 70s period has this Butterfly Electra label, it's called, which I think is really cool. However, whenever I see it, for some reason the song that pops into my head, which I think, by the way, the label on this is a cool continuation of the same theme. The Caterpillar label, I think of the song Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. I don't know why. It's not like this was the first record I saw on this label, but the song just pops right into my head. And let me again show you the theme there with the art on the label. I think that's, yeah, that's a nice little theme, I think. I don't know, it's just so wholesome. Like, yeah, the little one is the caterpillar, and then the big one, the big boy, grows up into the full LP. Pretty funny, but yeah, that's what I think of. I just think of Cats in the Cradle. This one also I think is pretty funny. It was one of my favorite records of all time, as was Marquee Moon. But this is, I think, number 3 on my top 100. David Bowie's Low. On the US version, it's on this black RCA Victor label, you know, the classic, His Master's Voice, as it's known elsewhere, with the Victrola. I don't know why. I guess it might be because of the Victrola. I just think of the song Putting on the Ritz by Taco, and I don't even remember where I first heard that song. I think it came out in the 80s, possibly late 70s. This says 82, okay. But yeah, it's like a weird kind of 20s throwback song. If you haven't heard it in a while, just give it a listen. It's something. That song just pops into my head whenever I see this label. And this label is all over the place. This is probably a good example that I pulled out because I love this record. But then I pull it out of the sleeve and I see that label and Put on the Ritz pops into my head for a second. Very strange, very strange. Don't ask me why. Alright, so last one. Another one that's pretty common in my collection is the Atlantic label, featured on this copy of Houses of the Holy by Led Zeppelin. This one you'll see all over the place. They kind of kept the same design for decades. I want to say like late 60s through, I don't think they really ever stopped using this on 12 inches. Like, you'll still see this on 12-inch singles from the 90s and 2000s, I think. But yeah, classic design. Maybe not the most exciting design ever, but you know, it's solid. It's not the worst. However, the song that pops into my head for some reason, I don't know why, is the classic track Killing Me Softly on this record by Roberta Flack, with this cool, you know, fold out cover, and it's in this uni pack. But yeah, Killing Me Softly is on that classic Atlantic record label. All kinds of stuff on this label, you know, jazz, soul, Led Zeppelin stuff, everything is on that label. Atlantic was a huge label. Killing Me Softly is the one that pops into my head. So that's all I've got for today. If you're not already subscribed to Brad's channel, just go do that. H2Vinyl, all one word, and that's H, and the number 2, not the word 2. And what can I say about Brad? Well, the first video of his I ever saw was his, the way he catalogs his music is so cool to me. It's like, he has his own database and he prints out custom stickers, grading everything on his own custom scale. Like, a computer program analyzes how much surface noise is on a record and it'll give it a number grading, I think out of like 100. And he'll print out a sticker and put it on the sleeve, and you know, it goes in there. And I think that's probably one of the coolest ways I've seen to catalog a collection. You know, most people that I know just use Discogs, and that's all well and good, but that's a little I don't want to say boring because I do that, but yeah, that's definitely an interesting way to do it. And you know, he's into all kinds of music. That great thing about collectors that I love, he's one of those that just loves all kinds. And I do actually like to see stuff, you know, from the 90s, 2000s, 2010s. He shows a lot of that. And in different genres that I feel aren't as represented on the VC, like electronic, hip-hop even. Yeah, modern classics. So yeah, great guy, great channel, deserves more subs. Go subscribe, go do it. And maybe do a label game entry if you can. Alright, that's it for me today. I don't have a story, sorry. I think I've told all mine, and mine aren't really that interesting anyway. But yeah, that's my entry. Y'all take care.